were then fed into the system for correction of the rationale. Because it didn't matter to me that the decision was correct, the rationale had to be correct as well. So we worked on giving the rationale back into the system. So if hundreds and thousands of cases go back into the system, telling the system that this is the right rationale and this is the right decision, the learning happens through the model, right? And then also to get the accuracy in the decisions, we trained the model with the past claims data to get those correlations correct. So all our past claims data was already there. Our risk models were feeding into this particular application. Then our underwriting manual, which is the Bible for underwriters, that is integrated. So that means whenever you create a summary, when a genetic AI creates a summary, it gives a reference to your underwriting manual. It tells you which section, which page this decision came from, or what was the rationale of this decision, because there was this thing mentioned in the manual, and that's the rationale for a decision. So it gives you confidence that whatever decisions are coming out is not in the air. It is related to what guidelines have already agreed, and accordingly that can be easily verified. So that is what gives me confidence that the decision is correct and the rationale behind it is also correct.
Got it. I will come to a very tough question here. As Mayur from Lumik always talk about, you have to look at two things: objectives and outcomes. Whenever you are building anything, whenever you are executing those things. So when you are building those things at scale, also I would say, so there is a fear in humans that we will be replaced, and this is a very big fear of uncertainty. How you handle that?
So I guess we all at those ages where we would have definitely known or heard about the industrial revolution which happened. We sailed through that, right? Everybody has a job today also, or most of it. But then the point is, at that point of time, people thought the factories will come in and the workers will be all useless. But then we all learned how to work with machines. So similarly, this is another big change in our lives. This agentic AI technology or the other technologies coming our way is not there to to believe that we'll be out of jobs. It would mean that underwriters would do specific cases which are very, very technical in nature, difficult in nature, which requires a human intelligence. So I guess what I tell my underwriters that your jobs are very, very secure, but only if you are literate on AI. If you update yourself on AI, you are the most valuable person today. But if you are working on the traditional ways, not updated with the technology, then obviously one has to be fearful of the technologies coming in, because you have to be updated with the technology coming in. Working with the technology is actually going to give you, the importance in the industry, because working the traditional ways is not going to happen. With the kind of growth we are seeing in the industry, these things are definitely here to stay, right? And we will not be able to increase the manpower to that proportion because complexities do come in. Two underwriters might not give the same decision on a same application. So if you talk about the consistency, there has to be a model which gives you consistent results. That will give you the confidence of the management. It will also give you the confidence of the customers, saying that I applied two policies 6 months apart, but I got the same decision, right? So what is most important is that consistency is important. But on your first part, I believe this technology is here to stay, and the best part is to gain maximum knowledge about AI and start to live with this technology. I guess that's the best combination to work, and that's what I see going ahead is going to happen.
Got it. So it's like ChatGPT when came, content writers felt that they are out of the job, but now they use as an enabler to drive the journey. So can I compare it with that?
For sure, for sure. I believe in the era of technology, we cannot be working in the traditional ways. It's best to best to learn it and then make the most of it. And I believe in the times to come, the underwriters would have more green time because they will be processing on lesser amount of cases but complex cases. And I guess that challenge is very, very important for human minds and human brains to work on challenges rather than doing a repetitive work. Repetitive work is something which can be automated. It was automated. Now these technologies will take over. What we did earlier, our STP rules were the same. We all talk about STP rules. What are these? These are automated, simple decisions which with the help of technology, we automated so that machine can do that for us. So now we are talking about the next level. We're talking about the level where the technology takes over and start giving you intelligent decisions. So that's the technology for us. We have done the automation. Now this technology will help us in making those decisions better.
Thank you so much. I will be like moving to the last question, which is like for the Leo, like how you see the future, especially in the life insurance underwriting.
Yeah, Leo is definitely very. I'm very excited about Leo because I've been using it myself, and the best part is I run through those cases myself because I definitely give a feedback to the development team because where I feel that the correlations are correct and where the correlations are incorrect, then we find solutions how to make that work because the technical knowledge which a medical person or an underwriter can give is very important for a technical person to understand and then solve for. So I believe Leo gives us that kind of a, uh, or I would rather say, I recently saw an underwriting summary. I believe it was a perfect summary. Even my underwriter would not be writing so many details on a worksheet because it is from financial underwriting to residential risks to a profile risk to a financial underwriting, medical risk, even moral hazard. All those notes generally underwriters do not write. They don't have time currently to write a lengthy page of assessment. But then with this, we're able to get those detailed summaries and definitely will help us in standing the claims at a later stage and justifying our decisions at a later stage. And lastly, I believe that all our savings business is going to be automated very, very soon. We're not going to be left with many cases on the savings business. The term underwriting is something which would still require hand-holding and some bit of work. But for the savings business, I guess the Agentic AI would definitely solve for. And in the times to come, we will definitely see underwriters working only on the very, very complex cases. The simple ones would definitely be automated.
Thank you so much. Would you be okay if like anyone has a question to pick?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll be happy to answer.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
please.
Yeah.
This is Dinesh Naik from ICICI Prudential Life. Dr. Ashish, what are your views on the data accuracy part of it? Because if the input is wrong, so if you're doing an OCR and if your values are not correct, your entire agentic will also not give you the right decision. So how did you tackle that in your organization?
See, input and output is important. As you said, garbage in would be garbage out. Even for that matter, for an underwriter, if you give him values which are incorrect, he will give an incorrect decision, right? What I am trying to solve is that the input parameter which is coming in is not coming in from the customer. I'm taking it from an online source or from a digital source, which means that I don't have to review that data or somebody doesn't have to look for it. I'll give you an example. For example, in financial underwriting, if I don't have to ask for an ITR or a bank account statement or maybe a FDR summary to give a decision, then there is nobody in the hierarchy or nobody in the whole chain to review that document and find the genuineness of the document or put in that values in the system and get a final decision. Why? What if I use a CIBIL score or a PayU or a Vahan output? GST portal gives me the total invoice value. The EPFO gives me a total invoice value. Account aggregators are there. So there are multiple sources where you can get the data directly from a digital source without any dependency on the customer. And it's a sales dream where you don't have to get to the customer, ask him for various documents again and again. Rather, you just take his minimum details, and then rest of the things are fed from the various sources. So in that case, I don't have to depend on the input. So that means the input is correct. Now I can be bothered about the output.
So digital enablers have definitely helped us out. However, the document submission and the document reading and then analyzing the data correctly is something that I was wanting to have your views. Is there anything that you've been working on or has something around this struck while you were doing your?
Yeah, right. So one thing which an underwriter's query was that what if a document is forged? How do I detect it? So we already have that technology in Leo where it is able to identify a forged document versus a genuine document. If so, that kind of solutions we already have. Along with that, if there's an investigation summary, investigation, we generally trigger investigations. So if that report comes in, then the model reads that and updates the decision as well. So it doesn't mean that if initially we have a basic element and then basis that a decision is made, and subsequently in the journey we got error information. So does the model consume it and revise the decision? Yes, it does. We've defined the triggers where the model needs to rerun and give a revised output in case there is a substantial or an important information which is updated. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for picking the question. We'll be moving to the next round. Before that, thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
For making it happen. For me, the biggest learning is build trust at scale. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ashish, for sharing your perspective. Now, going ahead, we are here to discuss collaborating for success. For the last 2 years, we have